intelligence that there was some illegal activity out in Fairfield Township, out towards Ross. It's pretty far out past Fairfield. We got on the site and we were watching and observing. We saw a Penske truck coming out of the property. We had our canine, our drug dog. We stopped the truck, and the dog hid on the truck. In the truck was what you see in front of you. This is the largest, one of the largest in this part of Ohio of what we have right here. We're looking at close to $3 million worth of drugs, weapons, cash. This by far is one of the largest. And the largest in probably, maybe not Ohio, but in this region, pretty well up at the top. What we have is we have 75,000 vape cartridges, THC vape cartridges. This is not all of it. You couldn't get in this room if we bought it all in. We have approximately 40 pounds of psychedelic mushrooms. I want to repeat that. 40 pounds. We don't see that very often. This is just an example over here. Multiple packages of candy like edibles. We went out to the store. This is what you buy in the store. This is what kids buy, the candies. You'll see it up front here. This is how it's packaged. So we want you to see that, and we want to emphasize that. I told you we have roughly $3 million approximately worth of product. A search warrant was conducted. We have the firearms up front, some of them, but not all the drugs are here. We have a 22-year-old Michael Morales who was arrested, lives on Baltimore Street in Middletown, Ohio. He's charged at this point. This is an ongoing investigation. He's charged at this point with trafficking in drugs, a felony 2. Possession of drugs, a felony 2. We're not done yet. This investigation is fresh. It's ongoing. I can tell you there'll be more arrests. There may be more before the day's out. This is a very hot issue. And I will tell you this, at this point, you have to realize, and we realize, sometimes these have international connections, okay? It appears it may have come from out west, but the investigation is continuing. We're working with our federal law enforcement friends. So, and I also want you to realize this is just not the sheriff's office. This is our county-wide drug task force, which probation and parole are part of. You got Wayne in the back, Wayne Gilson from probation and parole. They're part of our drug unit. We can't do it without them. Hamilton City Police are part of this drug task force. Fairfield City Police are part of the drug task force. And it is a drug task force. And again, this is the biggest for us. And it's the biggest in this region. And it's probably up in the top 10 for the state of Ohio and for this area. And again, these cartridges are unbelievable what's coming in. And this stuff will kill you, but pay attention to the candies, the edibles. Pay attention to those. We've also been told that drugs are being shipped in via Mexico, through China, and through other countries that are even being placed in baby aspirin bottles, the little small baby aspirin bottles. So they'll do anything they can to disguise this. And you can see if kids got into something like that, it would kill them. Now, here's what I want to tell you. Again, we could have more arrests before the day's out. This is so hot and moving so fast right now. Multiple agencies are involved. And again, internationally. A lot of times these things are produced internationally and shipped into the United States. We think this come from out west, but it's ongoing very rapidly. You know the individual that was arrested? That's the first one. It will not be the last one. And I want to put this out also, so you know, anyone that has any information that can help with this investigation, get a call in, make contact with the sheriff's office or your local law enforcement agency. Anybody that knows anybody that's selling drugs. If you're a drug dealer and you're concerned about your competition, call us. You don't have to give your name up. We're here to help you with your competition. So give us a call. We will help you with your competition. And you think we don't get those calls? You'd be totally shocked. We get those calls. And sometimes I got to remind people, we try to help you out with your competition. So always keep that in mind. It's easier to let the police do it. So we will answer any questions that you have at this time. But again, if you had to come into this room, you couldn't get in this room with all the drugs that we have right here. Powerful, mean, tough stuff. So I'll take any questions that you have at this point. Yes, sir, in the back. You have to speak up. Your mask is messing with me.
Do you think these were destined to be sold on the streets here, or were they headed somewhere else?
I know the answer to that. They were here. Let's just say that. Next question. Any questions that you have?
Just looked up your jail roster, and Mr. Morales isn't on it. Is he in Middletown's jail because of where this happened? Or?
He was here. He is no longer. I believe he bonded out. So he is no longer in our jail, is what I understood. I don't know if it was a Middletown jail or he was in our jail. He was here, so he has bonded out.
What's his criminal history like? Do you guys have that information?
Yes, but we'll give that information to you when this is over. Yes, sir. Speak up.
So, Sheriff, I mean, you talked about intelligence, and I mean, can you just talk a little bit about how you guys found out about how this transport of all these drugs and guns?
No, but a good question. I appreciate the question. We know how, but I can't release that information. But it was a good question. I appreciate you asking.
What was your reaction when you saw or heard about everything that was in this van?
Shocked. This is a lot. Unbelievable. The mushrooms, I think 40 pounds of these mushrooms over here. So the public knows this isn't like mushrooms you eat or you can, and drug users do that. This is a lot of mushrooms. It's a lot of THC in these vapes. And the candy, like I said, you couldn't get in this room. This is a very well organized operation. This isn't somebody doing this in the basement. It's very organized, and lots of drug kingpins and people that are at the top. This is very large, largest that you'll see in something like this.
I mean, so was there one guy in the van?
At this time, we arrested one person.
I mean, this looks like a lot of product for one guy.
Yes, I agree. Another good question. It is a lot of product for one person. Any other questions?
Do you think Mr. Morales was the top of this chain, or I mean, at 20, you said 20 some odd years old? 22. Is he the top of it? I wouldn't think a guy driving the truck would be at the top of it, but so we'll just kind of leave it at that, okay? Question?
Has he spoke of anyone else being a part of this operation?
Has what?
Has Mr. Morales spoke to you guys yet about anybody else in this operation?
I can't release any of that information. Usually they don't talk about anything, so I assume he did not. He's bonded out, and he is no longer here. Question in the back. You have to stand up so I can hear you.
What happens next? Like, will this be tested to see like how strong it is?
It's already being sent off to be tested as we speak, and at that point, the charges will increase on Mr. Morales, I assume. So this is just the very beginning, and we've done field tests, and so there'll be other charges, and there'll be more arrests. It could be today. So that's how fast this is moving. Any other questions?
What other agencies, if any, come into this now that you've seized all of this?
Oh, this naturally, our federal partners are part of our drug task force. They're aware of it, and our local agencies are aware of it. We're getting calls from other agencies. So again, this is moving very rapidly, and could be more arrests before the day's out.
Are you able to tell us where he was coming from with all of this?
I could, but I'm not going to. But another good question. You guys are asking good questions. It's almost like being in school, isn't it? Hey, good question. I appreciate that.
So I know you said one was arrested, but was there another individual in the truck with him at the time?
I never said there was another individual in there. I didn't say there wasn't. I didn't say there was. One was arrested.
And was he taken into custody without incident? Was there?
No, he was taken into custody without incident. Yes.
So do you know, Sheriff, what his bond was?
I don't, but we'll get you the bond. I think it was $30,000. $30,000 was his bond.
It seems a little bit low.
I would think so, but I don't get to make bond. If I got to choose the bond, a lot of times it'd be like $1 million. But I'm not that person that gets to decide the bond. That's somebody else that is not in law enforcement. So there's that. But his bond when he gets other charges, his bond may go up. He may be rearrested. So we'll see. But I don't get to make bond. I don't get to choose the bond. I wish I could have some say-so in that, and maybe I could help him. But it's not my job.
So
Our job is right here.
So now he's back on the street.
He's back somewhere, yes. Would I like him to be out of jail? No. But again, I don't get to make that decision.
Sheriff, you mentioned the drugs, the candy, and the guns, and money as well. How much money was seized? Are you able to tell us that?
I can give you that information, how much money was seized. We'll give you that when this press conference is over. That ends the press conference at this time, and anything else that all of you have, we'll give you some mugshots. We'll give you some more information. Good luck, and thanks a lot.